The Assembly is now in session. Assembly Member Byron Jones Sawyer Jr. notices the absence of a quorum. The Sergeant at Arms will prepare the chamber, bring in the absent members. The clerk will call the roll.
Addis, Aguiar Curry, Alanis, Alvarez, Arambula, Baines, Bauer Cahan, Bennett, Berman, Berner, Bonta, Bryan, Calderon, Juan Carrillo, Wendy Carrillo, Cervantes, Chin, Connolly, Daly, Davies, Dixon, Isali, Flora, Fong, Friedman, Gabriel, Gallagher, Garcia, Gibson, Grayson, Haney, Hart, Holden, Hoover, Irwin, Jackson, Joan Sawyer, Cara, Lackey, Lee, Lowe, Lowenthal, Mainshine, Mathis, McCarty, McKinner, Mursucci, Quinn, Ortega, Pacheco, Pappin, Jim Patterson, Joe Patterson, Pellerin, Petrie Norris, Quirk Silva, Ramos, Rendon, Reyes, Luz Rivas, Rodriguez, Rubio, Sanchez, Santiago, Chiavo, Soria, Ta, Ting, Valencia, Villapudua, Waldron, Wallace, Ward, Weber, Wicks, Wilson, Wood, Zibur. Mr. Speaker.
Assembly Member Bauer Cahan, you are recognized.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker, our start time was 2 p.m.?
Yes.
And Mr. Speaker, today is your last day presiding over this House.
That is correct.
Yes, so I'm just curious where most of our colleagues are to celebrate your last day by being here on time.
We're always curious as to where people are when we start our session.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to thank the on-time caucus who has arrived. I think there are 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 10 of us today who are a part of the on-time caucus. Thank you all for doing that.
If you ain't up on political game, respectfully, sir, we ain't the same. We built this country, it wasn't in vain. Red, white, and blue is our claim to fame. I don't really care what you have to say. Facts over fiction is the motto replay. Muhammad Ali came up from the clay. Grassroots built up this USA. Now knowing your history, you'll get played. Equip yourself cause we came to slay any opponent that's up in our way. Look at Malcolm X and his delivery. Any debate, he would make them pay. One round, eat them up like souffle. Boots on the ground from the past and today. Tradition must carry on every single day. Cut the check. Cut the check. You got no money, but you got it for Ukraine. Cut the check. If you ain't up on political game, respectfully, sir, we ain't the same. We built this country, it wasn't in vain. Red, white, and blue is our claim to fame. I don't really care what you have to say. Facts over fiction is the motto replay. Muhammad Ali came up from the clay. Grassroots built up this USA. Now knowing your history, you'll get played. Equip yourself cause we came to slay any opponent that's up in our way. Look at Malcolm X and his delivery. Any debate, he would make them pay. One round, eat them up like souffle. Boots on the ground from the past and today. Tradition must carry on every single
Others and act relating to state government.
Assemblymember McKenna, you may open on the bill.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I am proud to present SB 1050 on behalf of Senator Bradford. This bill will create a pathway to return land or provide restitution to Californians who had their land or property taken for racially motivated reasons. Many Californians are now familiar with the history of Bruce's Beach. The beachfront parcel of land in Manhattan Beach was once a thriving resort owned by Charles and Willa Bruce. It was one of the few places where African Americans were allowed to visit a beach. But the city of Manhattan Beach resented the Bruce's success and wanted to put them out of business. The city used the power of eminent domain to take Bruce's land for less than their value. Justice eventually came for the descendants of the Bruce family, and just like the Bruce's Beach, SB 1050 will create a pathway to justice for others harmed by similar racist acts. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinnon. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Those vote who desire to vote. We'll close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Measure passes. Members, a quorum is present. We ask our guests and visitors in the rear of the chamber and in the gallery to please stand for the prayer and the flag salute. The day's prayer will be offered by our chaplain, Imam Yasser Khan.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, Almighty God, as we conclude this assembly session, we reflect with deep gratitude on the journey we have shared and the guidance you have bestowed upon us. We deeply appreciate the dedication, wisdom, and hard work of every member and all staff, whose contributions have been pivotal in our discussions and decisions. We also express our heartfelt appreciation for the love and support of our families and friends, whose encouragement and sacrifices have enabled us to serve effectively in this assembly. We offer our profound thanks to first responders and veterans for their tremendous sacrifices. Their unwavering courage and dedication allow the rest of us to enjoy the peace and freedom we cherish every single day. Empower us to continue to be agents of change, replacing hatred with love. Inspire us to approach every challenge with compassion and understanding, fostering unity and empathy over division and discord. Grant us the strength to be the voice for those who have none, advocating tirelessly for the marginalized and voiceless. Instill in us the courage to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves, confronting injustice with unwavering commitment. Guide us in our pursuit of justice, helping us to address inequalities and support those who face discrimination and adversity. May our actions reflect your divine justice and contribute to a world where fairness and equality prevail. Allow us to cherish the memories we've created on this floor in the service of the people of this great state of California. May our efforts be marked by sincerity and purpose, and may they bring about meaningful change. Thank you, Almighty God, for your continuous support and the strength you provide. We place our trust in your wisdom and grace. God bless California, and God bless America. Amen.
Say thank you again to our chaplain. Let's join Mr. Mainshine as he leads us in the pledge.
Thank you. And on our last day of floor session for the 2023-2024 term, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Reading of the previous day's journal.
Assembly Chamber, Sacramento, Monday, August 12th, 2024. The Assembly met at 1 p.m.
Ms.
The Honorable
Aguiar-Curry moves and Mr. Flores seconds that the reading of the previous day's journal be dispensed with. Presentations and petitions, there are none. Introduction and reference of bills will be deferred. Reports of committees will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Messages from the governor, there are none. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Moving to motions and resolutions, the absences for the day. For illness, Assembly members Ortega and Assembly member Calderon. Moving to our procedural motions, Majority Leader Aguiar-Curry, you are recognized for your procedural motions.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 45.5 to allow Assembly Member Dixon to speak on an adjournment in memory today.
Without objection, such shall be the order.
I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 118A to allow Assembly members Gabriel and Rodriguez to have guests at their desks today.
Without objection, such shall be the order.
Please move item 8, AB 2465 Gibson to the inactive file at the request of the author.
Clerk will note. Okay, members, I've got a couple of announcements I'd like to make, if I could get your attention. Appreciate that as we get going here today. I can get your attention for just a moment. Well, actually, really appreciate your attention all day, but I'll settle for a moment at this point. So, to our guests and visitors today, state law prohibits persons in the gallery from interfering with legislative proceedings or disrupting the orderly conduct of official business. Disrupting legislative proceedings could lead to removal, arrest, and/or other appropriate legal remedies. I'm going to move on to our guest introductions and announcements. If I could get your attention for our guest introductions. I know we're all excited about the beginning of the end. But we do have some guest introduction in particular that we'd like to make. But before that, as has been my tradition throughout the year, it's important that we point out what's so special about today. Today is National Buffalo Chicken Wings Day. It's actually a 2-day ceremony. It's today and tomorrow, so you don't get them today, you can get them tomorrow in celebration of that important day in America. You all probably want to know things about when we might take a break for food. We will take a break for food. I don't know when, so I can't help you with that. You also probably want to know when we're going to end. I don't know, but our business has to conclude by 12 p.m. sharp at the end of the day. So it'll be any time between now and 12 p.m. And that's 12 a.m., whatever. Okay. I guess we're done then, right? Okay. 12 a.m. It's already been a long day, apparently. So that's all I know, but I promise I will keep you updated once we know when food might arrive and what our rough timetable is going to be as we move along. So we do have, I'd like to, they're back chattering there. We do have, I'd like to have members please join me on behalf of Assembly Member Gabriel in welcoming, if we could, I can't see Assembly Member Gabriel back there. I think he's back there. We want to welcoming his son, Ethan, Ethan Gabriel, partner Rachel Rosner, seated at his desk. And I want to also note that I believe it is Ethan's birthday today. So we need to wish Ethan a happy birthday. Not used to hearing song, but that's okay, you know, we're good with that. Once again, happy birthday, Ethan. Welcome to the floor of the Assembly. We're going to move to business on the daily file. I will warn you, members, there will be stops and starts today. That's the nature of the last day of our session. So we'll work for a while, and then there will be things moving back and forth between here and the Senate. So for now, we're moving to business on the daily file. Second reading, the clerk will read.
The Senate Bills 1162, 1350, and 1003.
All bills will be deemed read, and all amendments will be deemed adopted. Okay, members, listen up here. We are going to be moving into concurrence in of Senate amendments. We're going to start at file item 20. We're going to go through the entire file in order and go back and do 1 through 19. I think it's 1. No, it's actually 4 through 19. If you're not at your desk and not ready to go, we'll skip you over and we'll get you the next time. And so if you're not at your desk, we're going to pass temporarily. So I'd urge you to keep an eye on what's going on and be ready to go when we go into concurrence of Senate amendments. So, okay? Here we go. Moving to file item 20, AB 2108 by Assemblymember Ramos. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2108 by Assemblymember Ramos, enacted relating to foster care.
Mr. Ramos, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2108 is back on concurrence. The amendments taken in the Senate were based on technical advice offered by the department. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 42, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 21. Moving to file item 22, AB 2165 by Assemblymember Reyes. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2165 by Assemblymember Reyes, enacted relating to pupil instruction.
Assemblymember Reyes, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 2165 is back for concurrence. Senate amendments remove the reporting requirement. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Reyes. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 48, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 23, AB 2196 by Assemblymember Connolly. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2196 by Assemblymember Connolly, enacted relating to Beaver.
Assemblymember Connolly, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2196 is back on concurrence. Amendments taken in the Senate were technical in nature. The bill has no opposition and bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 49, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. We will pass temporarily on file item 24. Moving to file item 25, AB 2310 by Assemblymember Hart. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2310 by Assemblymember Hart, enacted relating to parole.
Mr. Hart, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. The amendments to AB 2310 taken in the Senate strike provisions in the bill mandating reporting requirements, bilingual glossaries, and regulations. These amendments significantly reduce the cost to the state. I respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 53, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 26, AB 2455 by Assemblymember Gabriel. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2455 by Assemblymember Gabriel and others, enacted relating to whistleblower protection.
Mr. Gabriel, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I am pleased today to present AB 2455, the Whistleblower Protection Enhancement Act, which strengthens and modernizes local and state whistleblower laws and adds protections to prevent the misuse of state funds. These changes will improve accountability, increase public trust, and ensure government actions and transactions are fully transparent. This bill has no votes and 0 opposition, and on behalf of myself and Ethan, we respectfully request your aye vote on AB 2455.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Seeing and hearing no further debates, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 53, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving right next door to file item 27, AB 2458 by Assemblymember Berman. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2458 by Assemblymember Berman and others enacting the public post-secondary education.
Mr. Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2458 would ensure that student parents obtain the financial aid they are eligible to receive by taking into account their child care expenses. Senate amendments incorporated feedback from stakeholders and reduced costs. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 28, AB 2509 by Assemblymember Calra. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2509 by Assemblymember Calra enacting the food and agriculture.
Mr. Calra, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2509 is back from the Senate for concurrence after a 40-0 unanimous vote on the Senate floor. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Calra. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 29, AB 2534 by Assemblymember Flora. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2534 by Assemblymember Flora and others enacting the school employment.
Mr. Flora, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2534 is back from the Senate on concurrence. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Flora. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 30, AB 2589 by Assemblymember Joe Patterson. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2589 by Assemblymember Joe Patterson enacting to alcoholic beverages.
Mr. Patterson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, amendments in the Senate narrow the scope of the bill, unfortunately, but I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Yeah, that happens. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 31, AB 2703 by Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2703 by Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry enacting the Medi-Cal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I rise to present AB 2703 that is back on concurrence. This is a simple bill, will expand access to desperately needed mental and behavioral health services throughout our state. These providers care for some of the most vulnerable populations. This is a Latino caucus priority, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 32, AB 2834 by Assemblymember Rendon. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2834 by Assemblymember Rendon and others enacting the public post-secondary education.
Assemblymember Rendon. You are
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2834 is back from the Senate on concurrence. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rendon. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. I'm going to pass temporarily on file item 33. Moving to file item 34, AB 2936 by Dr. Jackson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2936 by Assemblymember Jackson, enacting the public post-secondary education.
Dr. Jackson, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This bill is up for concurrence, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 35, AB 2999 by Assemblymember Chavo. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2999 by Assemblymember Schiavo and others, enacting the pupil instruction.
Assemblymember Chavo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. As many of you know, this has been a labor of love for me and my little one, and really parents throughout my district who I've spoken with, who you can see the stress on their face when they talk about not being able to have time with their kids in the evening because of so much homework and extracurricular activities and the 3 shifts that we ask our kids to do every day at school and after school and then at homework at home. So AB 2999 is an opportunity to have a new and intentional conversation about homework, one that includes parents, protects local control, and centers the well-being of children. Amendments in the Senate made specific provisions of the bill, specified provisions of the bill, and I respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Chavo. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 58, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 36. Moving to file item 37, AB 3030, Assemblymember Calderon by Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3030 by Assemblymember Calderon and others, enacting the healthcare services.
Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Assemblymember Calderon, I rise to present Assembly Bill 3030, which is back from concurrence. Senate amendments require healthcare providers deploying generative artificial intelligence for patient communication to disclose the technology's usage only when it is not reviewed by a licensed healthcare professional. Senate amendments removed opposition from CHA, CMA, the Dental Association, and the California Radiology Society. Thank you, and I respectfully ask you for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 53, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 38. Moving to file item 39, AB 3254 by Assemblymember Ansel Adams Berman. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3254 by Assemblymember Berman and others, enacting the cemeteries.
Assemblymember Berman, you are recognized.
So I want to apologize to my colleagues. There are 2 more sunset bills, and I know we're all tired of them, so we're going to get through this quick. AB 3254 is the sunset extension bill for the Cemetery and Funeral Bureau, which is set to expire on January 1st. Senate amendments make changes. It's cool. Vote for it. Respectfully ask for aye vote.
So thank you. I see and hear no further debate. So that if we don't do this, something bad will happen. Is that correct, Mr. Berman? Okay. All right. So seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. preventing something bad. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 57, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 40, AB 3255 by Assemblymember Berman. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3255 by Assemblymember Berman and others, enact relating to healing arts.
Mr. Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know my own talking points better than I do. AB 3255 is a sunset extension bill for the Board of Vocational Nursing and Psychiatric Technicians, which is set to expire on January 1st. As the Speaker said, this would be bad. Senate amendments make additional improvements and include other technical changes requested by the board. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes, ayes 57, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Okay, members, we are now going to be moving to some bills on Senate third reading. We will first move to file item 62, SB 1243, Senator Dodd by Assemblymember McKinner. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1243 by Senator Dodd and others, enact relating to the Political Reform Act of 1974.
Assemblymember McKinner, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, I'm here to present SB 1243 by Senator Dodd to amend the Levine Act for better clarity, compliance, and fairness. Over the last year, the author and I have heard from numerous elected officials from cities and counties around the state who have struggled to implement the law, and from numerous organizations who have struggled to adhere to its overly complicated requirements. This bill addresses numerous issues that have arisen during implementation, including adjusting the contribution limit that hasn't changed since 1982 from $250 to $500, which is less than inflation over that time. Clarifying that the increased membership dues for organizations like unions or Chamber of Commerce, for example, do not trigger inclusion in the statute when there's no direct financial stake in a development project. If it simplifies compliance by exempting from the provision of the law low value and non-controversial contracts. This bill furthers the goal of the Political Reform Act by making the requirements for implementation clear and workable and helping remove conditions that have incentivized dark money. Recent amendments have removed all opposition, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinner. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. This is a 54-vote bill, members. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 55, no 0. Measure passes. Pass, and we're going to pass temporarily on file item 63. Move to file item 64, SB 1526, Committee on Business Professions and Economic Development by Mr. Berman. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1526 by the Senate Committee on Business, Professions, and Economic Development, enact related to consumer affairs.
Assemblymember Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is not a sunset bill, but it is a BMP committee bill. SB 1526 is the Senate Business Professions and Economic Development Committee bill that makes technical changes. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 57, noes 0. Measure passes. We're going to pass temporarily on item 67. We're going to move to file item 74. SB 1450, Senator Allen by Mr. Berman. Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1450 by Senator Allen and others, enacting to elections.
Senate Member Berman, you are recognized.
Long time no speak, Mr. Speaker. In 2016, we passed the Voters' Choice Act to offer counties a new way to conduct elections that increases access and convenience for voters. SB 1450 streamlines administration and improves election management under the Voters' Choice Act while protecting vital voter access requirements. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 47, no 0. Measure passes. Moving to file item 70. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 76. Moving to file item 77. Senator Rubio by Assembly Member Rubio. SB 690, clerk will read.
Senate Bill 690 by Senator Rubio, enacting to domestic violence.
Assembly Member Rubio, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present SB 690 by Senator Susan Rubio, who I happen to know very well, otherwise known as the Phoenix Act 2.0. This bill would allow domestic violence survivors additional critical time to heal from their trauma and report abuse by extending the statute of limitations to 7 years. It's important to note why changing the statute of limitations is vital. Some believe that it's just about bringing abusers to justice after a victim has gained the courage to speak up and walk away from the relationship. However, colleagues, it is more than that. Abusers are clever. They will wait until the statute of limitation has expired, and then they will begin to financially and emotionally harass domestic violence victims. Abusers know that victims can no longer hold them accountable, and they know they can use coercive control tactics to trap their victims. Because of these tactics, victims find themselves with their reputations ruined, their job opportunities lost, their finances drained, and they endlessly defend against frivolous lawsuits. Too many victims who are pushed to the brink and finally get the courage to speak up find that the statute has expired. Victims need our support now more than ever. Reasons vary from ongoing trauma and threats from the perpetrator to lack of resources and economic insecurity. We must do better. Unfortunately, this bill was amended down to only 7 years, so even this bill would not cover some of the most horrific cases. But the reality is this can happen to all victims, and that is why we must allow sufficient time to heal and recover before they are ready to come forward to seek justice, before it can become fatal. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rubio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, no 0. Measure passes. Moving to file item 79, SB 954, Senator Menjivar by Assemblymember Bonta. Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 954 by Senator Menjivar and others, enacting to sexual health.
Assemblymember Bonta, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present SB 954 on behalf of Senator Menjivar.
SB 954 seeks to address the sexually transmitted infection epidemic among California youth and improve equitable public health outcomes statewide by expanding teen access to condoms in schools and communities. Specifically, SB 954 will require public and charter high schools to make internal and external condoms readily available to students for free, require a notice be posted informing students of where to get condoms on campus and where to find sexual and reproductive health information and resources, bar high schools from prohibiting condoms distribution in the context of educational and public health programs, an initiative, and prohibits pharmacies and retailers from asking for proof of age or identification for condoms or contraceptive purchases. According to the Department of Public Health, statewide data indicate over half of all STIs in the state are experienced among California youth age 15 to 24 years old, and youth of color are disproportionately impacted. The CDC's youth risk behavior surveillance system shows that the percentage of sexually active students who used condoms decreased from 2011 to 2021. For male condoms, use dropped 67 to 58%, and females from 54 to 47%. So we have a problem. The Los Angeles and San Francisco Unified School Districts already make condoms available on their campuses. However, it leaves youth in other regions, including regions with some of the highest rates of STIs and pregnancies among youth, without equitable access to condoms and preventive health care. This is a priority-sponsored bill of the LGBTQ caucus. SB 954 seeks to address these inequities, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bonta. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 51, noes 3. Measure passes. Moving to file item 82, SB 1323, Senator Menjivar by Assemblymember Hart. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1323 by Senator Menjivar and others, enacting relating to criminal procedure.
Mr. Hart, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to present Senate Bill 1323 on behalf of Senator Menjivar. Existing law requires all individuals accused of a felony who are found incompetent to stand trial to be sent for competency restoration. These individuals are funneled to our state's most restrictive and costly state hospital beds, at times waiting many months in jail before being placed at a state hospital. This process does nothing to disrupt cycles of incarceration, reduce state hospital wait lists, or link people to the housing and mental health services that they desperately need. It also does not serve victims well. The long delays caused by the backlog of people waiting for restoration means long delays for victims in the resolution of their cases. SB 1323 will require mental health experts to determine from the start if a person is likely to be restored to competency. In the cases where restoration is not likely, judges will have discretion to place the person in conservatorship proceedings or specialized treatment. Furthermore, if restoration of competency is not in the interest of justice, judges will have the option to order treatment through mental health diversion, care court, assisted outpatient treatment, or conservatorship. Under SB 1323, the judge will have more flexibility in providing the proper treatment for individuals within our justice system. Recent amendments removed all opposition to the bill. The measure is supported by the California Judges Association. Thank you, and I respectfully urge your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. 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 Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 42, noes 12. Measure passes. Moving to file item, we're going to pass temporarily on file item 484. Move to file item 90, SB 1070, Senator Padilla by Assemblymember Garcia. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1070 by Senator Padilla and others, and relating to healthcare districts.
Assemblymember Garcia, you are recognized.
Thank you, Presiding Officer and colleagues. This bill is addressing a healthcare situation in our district, Imperial County. With only 2 hospitals serving the entire county, the region faces significant health disparities. This urgent need led to a creation of a healthcare district, consolidating 2 agencies and bringing in a hospital from a city. The bill seeks to extend the district's deadline to recommend and present permanent funding mechanism to voters by November 2026 election. It protects the integrity of this new organization and gives it its ability to fulfill its requirements based on a law that you all supported by a 70-0 vote here last year. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Garcia. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 42, noes 11. Measure passes. And we will move to file item 94, SB 219, Senator Wiener by Assemblymember Hart. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 219 by Senator Wiener and others, enacting the greenhouse gases.
Mr. Hart, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I'm presenting SB 219, a bill joint authored by Senators Wiener and Stern. SB 219 makes a number of technical amendments to 2 bills passed last year by this body, Senator Wiener's Climate Corporate Data Accountability Act and Senator Stern's Climate Financial Risk Act. This measure will help support the timely and robust implementation of both acts, including allowing corporations to consolidate reporting at the parent company level. SB 219 also extends the California Air Resources Board's window to complete a rulemaking process by 6 months while keeping the requirement for disclosures to begin in 2026. SB 219 passed unanimously out of the Assembly Natural Resources Committee and is support. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 48, no 0. Measure passes. We're moving back to concurrence in of Senate amendments. Moving to file item 41, AB 892 by Dr. Baines. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 892 by Assemblymember Baines, enacting to health and care facilities.
Dr. Baines, you are recognized.
Thank you, Speaker and members. AB 892 is a district bill which ensures that the Kern County Hospital Authority and the Kern Medical Center Foundation follow best accounting practices and comply with the California Public Records Act. I have worked with all stakeholders, including the nonprofits, to ensure this bill is workable and does not set an untenable statewide precedent for other hospitals or the nonprofit community. The situation that exists in Kern County is unique, so a unique approach was required. I am happy to report that after nearly 2 years of negotiations, there is zero opposition to this bill, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Dr. Baines. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes ayes 43, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 42, AB 2922 by Assemblymember Garcia. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2922 by Assemblymember Garcia, an act relating to local government and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember Garcia, you are recognized.
Thank you. This bill is back for concurrence. Clarifying amendments makes the bill stronger and greater for economic opportunities for the entire state of California. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Garcia. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. This is a 54-vote bill, members. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes ayes 59, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 43, AB 3259 by Assemblymember Wilson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3259 by Assemblymember Wilson, an act relating to taxation and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember Wilson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 3259 is back on concurrence. As a reminder, AB 3259 is primarily a district bill providing needed clarity and flexibility for voters in Solano County to raise local revenue. Last time I presented these bills, the amendments simply add 2 other cities that are seeking that same flexibility, the city of Pinole and the city of Campbell, as well as an urgency clause needed for initiatives appearing on the ballot in November and other technical clarifying changes. As a reminder, this bill does not raise or enact any new taxes. It simply empowers the voters in these areas by allowing them to decide whether to approve local revenue measures. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wilson. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Members, this is a 54-vote bill. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Assemblymember Wilson moves the call. Moving to file item 44, AB 224 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 224 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio and others, an act relating to private employment.
Assemblymember Rubio, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 224 is back on concurrence from the Senate with unanimous bipartisan support. I am thankful for both my joint authors, Senator Umberg, and my colleague from San Jose for his most recent efforts on this issue. Let's see, AB 224 enjoyed unanimous bipartisan support in the Senate, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rubio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 51, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 45, AB 1034 by Assemblymember Grayson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1034 by Assemblymember Grayson and others, and act relating to employment.
Mr. Grayson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 1034 is back on concurrence. AB 1034 would extend the exemption sunset to 2038 for lawsuits originated under the Private Attorney General's Act, we know as PAGA, for contractors in the building and construction trades that are party to a valid collective bargaining agreement, meeting specified criteria and having negotiated with their local union to include the waiver in their CBA. I am respectfully asking for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Grayson. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 55, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 46, AB 1533, the Committee on Utilities and Energy by Assemblymember Petrie Norris. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1533 by the Committee on Utilities and Energy, and act relating to electricity.
Assemblymember, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I rise to present AB 1533, which is back on concurrence. This is the UNE Annual Code Cleanup Measure. This bill was amended in the Senate to include public resource code cleanup that was requested by the California Energy Commission. The bill has received unanimous bipartisan support. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Petrie Norris. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 47, AB 866 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 866 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio, and act relating to juveniles.
Assemblymember Rubio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 866 is back on concurrence and simply clarifies foster youth can receive the same opioid use disorder treatment as other youth in the state already can. This received bipartisan support in the Senate and has no opposition. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rubio. Assemblymember Waldron, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and members, I urge an aye vote on this measure. It's very important. We're seeing more and more young people becoming addicted and having mental health issues as well. Being able to get access to that treatment as well for foster youth is only fair, and I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Waldron. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 52, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 48, AB 2496 by Assemblymember Pellerin. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2496 by Assemblymember Pellerin, and act relating to foster family agencies and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember Pellerin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. AB 2496 is back for concurrence in Senate amendments. The bill was amended in the Senate to ensure 9,700 of our most vulnerable foster kids can stay in their foster homes despite the fact that foster family agencies can no longer obtain insurance. This is a temporary solution to a dire situation to keep kids in their current homes. I respectfully ask for your aye vote to support our foster kids.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pellerin. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 62, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 62, no 0 on concurrence in of Senate amendments. Moving to file item 49, AB 598 by Assemblymember Wicks. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 598 by Assemblymember Wicks, enact relating to local government.
Assemblymember Wicks, what you passed temporarily. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 598. Moving to file item 49, excuse me, Assembly Bill 598. Moving to file item 50, AB 846 by Assemblymember Bonta. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 846 by Assemblymember Bonta, enact relating to low-income housing.
Assemblymember Bonta, you are recognized.
Thank you, Speaker and members. AB 846 is back on concurrence. Senate amendments ask the Tax Credit Allocation Committee to apply its carefully crafted new rent cap regulations to all existing LIHTC properties. This approach protects tenants and gives developers the flexibility they need. Thank you, and I respectfully request an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bonta. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 43, noes 6. Senate amendments are concurred in. We're moving back to file item 4, AB 3063 by Assemblymember McKinner. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3063 by Assemblymember McKinner and others, enact relating to healing arts and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember McKinner, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present AB 3063, which is back on concurrence. Senate amendments are technical and clarifying in nature. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinner. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 59, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Looks like we're going to pass temporarily. We are passing temporarily on item 5. Looks like we will pass temporarily on item 6 as well. And we're going to pass temporarily on file item 7. Moving to file item 9, AB 1755 by Assemblymember Calra. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1755 by Assemblymember Calra and others, enact relating to civil actions.
Assemblymember Calra, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present AB 1755. Since the end of the pandemic era restrictions on court hearings, the number of lemon law-related lawsuits has skyrocketed. In fact, judges report that in LA County, lemon law cases now represent 10% of all civil filings in the county. 9 years ago, there were about 4,000 a year. This year, it's expected to be 30,000 lemon law cases. As a result, all civil litigants are being impacted, and consumers seeking with defective lemons for cars are struggling to get relief from the courts. AB 1755 represents a compromise between the consumer attorneys, some auto manufacturers, and civil defense attorneys, and some auto manufacturers, most notably General Motors. The compromise has 3 primary components. Pre-trial procedures. Consumers must now inform manufacturers in writing if they want a lemon vehicle bought or back or replaced. It could be an email. Manufacturer receiving the notice must agree to replace the vehicle within 30 days, or else the consumer may go to court. If the parties reach agreement, the manufacturer must complete the purchase or replacement of the vehicle within 60 days, and this notice can be transmitted in the consumer's native language. Additionally, it deals with streamlined early discovery and mediation. If a case goes to court, parties must provide a mandatory set of documents and discovery within 60 days of a case being filed. Plaintiff and defendant must submit to a deposition within 120 days of a case being filed. Both parties must attend mediation within 150 days of the case being filed. Both sides must have a person capable of settling present at the mediation, which is really critical to resolve these kinds of cases. Only if early discovery and mediation fails may the parties seek extended discovery and litigation. Certainty in litigation and timelines and settlements is also part of this bill. The bill narrows the timeline for filing lemon law cases 1 year after the final warranty expires, or 6 years total from delivery of a vehicle, which is still a more generous statute of limitation than all 49 other states. And the bill expedites settlement completion by providing one standard statutory form for repurchase and replacement agreements, thus eliminating the need for negotiations. Requires a settlement to be completed in a timely manner, or else both sides face possible civil penalties and sanctions, and requires the manufacturer to provide the consumer a check or a new vehicle at the time that the lemon is turned in. These consumer-friendly changes seek to promote timely resolution of cases outside court when possible. What the bill does not do, the bill does not alter any fundamental rights under the existing lemon laws. Much like today, manufacturers are obligated to conform vehicles to their warranty. It has no impact on warranties or the Warranty Act. In no way, it does not shift the burden away from the plaintiff at all. And it doesn't add any attorney's fees, and it provides language access, which does not currently exist in our lemon law, by requiring forms to be filled, to be provided both in English and Spanish, and any language can be used to submit your request for a lemon law action. And so with these changes, I'm confident that consumers are going to be made whole sooner. Manufacturers will see a reduction in their litigation costs, and overall we'll see an unclogging of the court system, and that's why the California Judges Association supports this legislation. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Carro. Assemblymember Lackey, you are recognized.
Yeah, thank you, members. I am rising to speak in favor of AB 1755 because it's a deal to provide concrete reforms to the lemon law that was negotiated directly between General Motors and the consumer attorneys of California. The bill is co-sponsored by Ford and I can't even pronounce it right, Stellantis? Yep, you got it. Thank you. Thus, the big U.S. automakers with the largest market share in California actually support the bill. The concerns about this process are truly valid. No compromise is perfect. The reason for the date of the bill's introduction is that the intense negotiation between two competing interests has been intense. In a perfect world, I wish every manufacturer was at the table, but that wasn't doable. The reason for the urgency in introducing this bill now instead of waiting until next legislative session is that the deal includes an agreement for a mutual moratorium between the consumer attorneys and the Civil Justice Association of California on filing a state or local ballot initiative against the interests of each organization's respective members through the 2026 election cycle. If the bill does not go through, the deal is off, and our chance at reform will have been lost, likely for many years to come. When implemented, this bill will annually save government, auto dealers, automakers hundreds of millions in litigation costs and expedite the solution for consumers so if they can have automobiles they need to get to work, school, see family, and enjoy the state's open spaces. All stakeholders agree that the lemon law is drastically needed, and this is our chance to secure real reforms. The real reason that I'm completely supporting this is currently settlements take up to years with this lemon law process, years. And the people that can least afford to be without their vehicles are the ones most impacted by that. This settlement will result in months. That's a big, big improvement, and it deserves your support, and I hope you'll support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lackey. Assemblymember Dixon, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I too rise in support of AB 1755. AB 1755 is an agreement crafted to provide concrete reforms to the lemon law that was negotiated between General Motors and other automobile companies and the consumer attorneys of California. The substantive reforms in AB 1755 will save government, auto dealers, and automakers millions in litigation costs, and importantly, expedite solutions for consumers. Consumers rely on their vehicles to get to work and school. It is important we provide an efficient way for their issues to be resolved so they can have reliable transportation. This is a consumer bill at the end of the day, and this is why I am in strong support of it. It's the first change and amendment to the Lemon Law, but it's only procedural. The law itself substantively is not changing in the sense of the contents of the law. It's procedural to make it easier for consumers to report and expedite the repair of their vehicle. And I thank you, and I encourage your aye vote on AB 1755. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Dixon. Assemblymember Hoover, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise too in support of AB 1755. I do think we have a unique opportunity here to vote on something that may not have been possible otherwise. However, I am disappointed in the process and would really encourage this body to come back next year on some cleanup legislation and work through some of the opposition's concerns as well. And if the author's willing in his close, would love to hear his thoughts on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoover. Mr. Calra, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, to the last point from our colleague, I've spoken with some of the opposition manufacturers and consumer groups and have committed to continue conversations on any details that they feel were missed or that could be improved upon. And I believe that this is going to be certainly an ongoing process, and I'm committed to working with those consumer groups and manufacturers that are not in support today to ensure that we continue to work on this in a way that's beneficial to all Californians. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Calra. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. 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 Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 45, noes 2. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 10, AB 2258 by Assemblymember Zabur. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2258 by Assemblymember Zabur and others, enact relating to healthcare coverage.
Mr. Zabur, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 2258 is back on concurrence. AB 2258 codifies existing federal guidance into California law requiring health plans and health insurers to cover services that are integral to the delivery of recommended preventive services without out-of-pocket costs, including reversible contraceptives, PrEP, and HIV and other STI screenings. Senate amendments incorporated the Department of Managed Care's technical assistance and clarified the Department of Insurance's penalty authority. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Zabur. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 52, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 11, AB 2481 by Assemblymember Lowenthal. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2481 by Assemblymember Lowenthal and others, enact relating to social media platforms.
Assemblymember Lowenthal, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2481 is back from the Senate on concurrence where it enjoyed bipartisan support. The amendments taken in the Senate reduce the number of triggers that flag and expedite review, narrows who can be a verified reporter to just principals and licensed mental health professionals, both of which can be verified online through publicly accessible databases maintained by the state. It delays implementation and finally removes the private right of action. AB 2481 is supported by CTA, ACSA, CFT, and the Children's Advocacy Institute. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Lowenthal. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. 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 Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 41, no 0, 43, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 12, AB 3263 by Assemblymember Calderon, presented today by Assemblymember Aguiar Curry. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3263 by Assemblymember Calderon, an act related to electrical corporations.
Assemblymember Aguiar Curry, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Assemblymember Calderon, I rise to present Assembly Bill 3263, which is back for concurrence. Senate amendments permit an electric utility to include costs stemming from a declared state of emergency in the recovery bond applications with the CPUC. Furthermore, Senate amendments adds limits on the dollar amount and the repayment period of the vegetation management recovery bonds they are seeking authorization to utilize. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Aguiar Curry. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 46, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 13, AB 1817 by Assemblymember Alanis. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1817 by Assemblymember Alanis, an act relating to public social services.
Mr. Alanis, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1817 is back on concurrence after resolving chapter out conflicts in the Senate. Members, I urge and I vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alanis. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 58, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to item 14, AB 1832 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1832 by Assemblymember Blanca Rubio and others, an act relating to employment.
Assemblymember Rubio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1832, which establishes a labor trafficking task force within the California Department of Civil Rights, is back on concurrence. This bill has enjoyed unanimous bipartisan support and has no opposition. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rubio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 15, AB 1907 by Assemblymember Pellerin. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1907 by Assemblymember Pellerin and others, an act relating to child welfare.
Assemblymember Pellerin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. AB 1907 incorporates existing child and adolescent needs and strengths behavioral health data into the California Child and Family Service Review System to enable a nuanced assessment of needs and strengths for children and youth navigating the child welfare system. The bill is bipartisan support, no opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pellerin. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes, ayes 60, no 0. Measure Senate amendments are concurred in. Pass temporarily on file item 16. Moving to file item 17, AB 2074 by Assemblymember Maritsuchi. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2074 by Assemblymember Mersucci and others, an act relating to pupil instruction.
Assemblymember Maritsuchi, you are recognized.
Thank you very much. AB 2074 seeks to implement the English Learner Roadmap. This bill aims to close achievement gaps among more than 1 million English learners in the state of California by implementing the English Learner Roadmap that was adopted by the State Board of Education in 2017. Has no opposition, received no votes. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Maritsuchi. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 55, noes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. We're going to back up to file item 16, AB 2020 by Assemblymember Bonta. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2020 by Assemblymember Bonta and others, an act relating to human trafficking.
Assemblymember Bonta, you are recognized.
Thank you, members. AB 2020 is back on concurrence. Senate amendments focus the bill on establishing protocols and urging law enforcement to collaborate with community-based organizations who support survivors when interacting with survivors of human trafficking. AB 2020 focuses on lifting up and protecting survivors and engaging with community-based organizations as a true aspect of ensuring a public health approach to addressing human trafficking. This bill has no opposition and has received no votes. Thank you, and I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bonta. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the votes. Ayes 57, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 18, AB 2086 by Assemblymember Chavo. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2086 by Assemblymember Schiavo, enacting into transportation.
Assemblymember Chavo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 2086 requires Caltrans to update an existing public online dashboard displaying how specific annual project investments are advancing the vision and goals of the California Transportation Plan. Amendments in the Senate made specific which project investments to track. Respectfully request an aye vote.
I'm sorry, I got distracted there a little bit. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the votes. Ayes 56, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Moving to file item 19, AB 2098 by Assemblymember Garcia. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2098 by Assemblymember Garcia and others, enact relating to health facilities financing and making an appropriation therefore.
Assemblymember Garcia, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pro Tem and colleagues, this bill will allow the California Health Facilities Finance Authority loans that were provided to municipal and district hospitals to be extended. We're talking about millions of dollars that many of these hospitals are not in a position financially and due to the circumstances post-COVID to be able to pay back. We are respectfully asking your aye vote to help many of these hospitals keep their lights on, doors open to continue to provide services to Californians.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the votes. Ayes 61, no 0. We're going to be starting our second round now with our concurrence items for those that were passed and retained. Looks like we will pass and retain once again. File item 21. And we'll pass and retain once again on file item 24. We'll move to file item 33, AB 2903 by Mr. Hoover. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2903 by Assemblymember Hoover and others, enact relating to homelessness.
Assemblymember Hoover, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 2903 is back on concurrence. It implements the state auditor's recommendations on holding our state accountable on homelessness spending. I respectfully request an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoover. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 57, noes 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Looks like we'll pass temporarily again on file item 36. Looks like we'll pass temporarily again on file item 38. And I think we'll pass temporarily on file item 49 again. We will go to file item 36, AB 3023 by Assemblymember Pappen. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 3023 by Assemblymember Pappen, an act relating to environmental protection.
Assemblymember Pappen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 3023 is back on concurrence. Senate amendments were technical and clarifying. This bill has no opposition and bipartisan support. I respectfully request an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pappen. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 57, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. So we'll pass it temporarily again on file item 2331. But we might be able to take up file item 24, AB 2779 by Assemblymember Cervantes. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2279 by Assemblymember Cervantes and others, an act relating to state government.
Assemblymember Cervantes, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members, for allowing me to present Assembly Bill 2279, which is back for concurrence. I want to thank my friend, our colleague from Highland, for being a joint author on this bill and for all that he does for the first people of California. AB 2279 will help provide a coordinated state response to MMIP cases by establishing the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Person Justice Program within the Department of Justice. Amendments taken in the Senate clarify some of the duties that this bill require of the program, including providing technical assistance to ongoing MMIP investigations that are being led by other law enforcement agencies. This bill has had 0 no votes throughout the legislative process. And if I may, on my final point, point of personal privilege, this is also my final bill that I will be presenting as a member of the Assembly. And I just quickly want to say that serving in this House, in this body, for the 60th Assembly District and the 58th Assembly District has been the honor of my life. Members, I respectfully ask for an aye vote on AB 2279. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Cervantes. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes, ayes 59, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Looking to see Mr. Gabriel, are you ready, able to take up item number 6, AB 2331? Pass temporarily on that, okay? Okay, we've been through the concurrence in a Senate amendments twice now, but we've got one we can take up here. Moving to file item 49, AB 598 by Assemblymember Wicks. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 598 by Assemblymember Wicks, an act relating to local government.
Assemblymember Wicks, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. This is a BAFA cleanup bill. I know BAFA is not going to be on the ballot this year, but it will be in future years, so we want to make sure it's ready to go. The bill reflects concerns by the Barrie builders and business groups that BAFA would use its money to raise to leverage changes in land use land use policy in local jurisdictions that receive the money. That is not BAFA's intention, and this bill makes it explicit. BAFA cannot leverage its money to influence local land use policy. With that, respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wicks. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 49, no 0. Senate amendments are concurred in. Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry, you are recognized for your procedural motion.
Mr. Speaker, please move the following items to the inactive file. Item 60, SB 762, Becker, at the request of the author. Item 75, SB 1461, Allen, at the request of the author.
Clerk will note.
Okay, everyone. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat. I have some news that I want to bring to everyone. Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat. I'm actually pausing the audio source going to the assembly floor. Wonderful. Thank you, Ernest. Appreciate your time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this current press release All right. I don't know, it may be kind of hard to see, so I'm just going to go and try to read it. See if I can blow it up as large as I can. Anyway, this is from the CLBC Policy Institute. This is according to their webpage. It looks like the CLBC sent out a press release for those who don't know. And then I'm going to okay. Yeah. Sorry, fam. It is what it is right now. I mean, technically, I probably could download it and upload it, but I'm just going to go ahead and read it. If you go to here, I'm going to put this in the chat where everybody can go. Actually, let me do this. Let's see. So if you go to let me see. That's their Twitter right there. Just give me a second, family. Oh, okay. So it says statement regarding pending legislation for immediate release, August 31st, 2024. California Legislative Black Caucus, CLBC, remains steadfast in our commitment to advancing the CLBC 2024 reparations priority legislative package. The CLBC has chosen to concentrate our collective energy on the legislative priorities that the entire caucus has voted on and those that positively impact Black Californians. There has been interest regarding the status of Senate Bill 1403. The caucus was unable to participate in the legislative process collectively and only recently became aware of the concerns and issues with the bill. In its current form, one of the primary concerns with the bill is that it ceded legislative oversight authority, which is critical given the generational impact this legislation would have. We are well past the amendment deadline. Therefore, the decision has been made to continue working on this bill and reintroduce it in the next session. First of all, we don't know what bill, sorry, I have to interject. I have no idea what bill they're referring to in this, but let's read further. And reintroduce it in the next session. There are other bills in this priority package where we've taken this approach to ensure they fully reflect the needs and aspirations of the communities we represent. And who exactly do you represent? Anyway, that's just a question. Regarding the status of Senate Bill 1331, the CLBC will not be moving it forward this year. The bill is not part of the CLBC 2024 reparations priority legislative package. No, it wasn't. Therefore, questions should be directed to the author's office. And for those that don't know, Senator Bradford is the author of the bill 1331, and Senator Bradford is actually terming out this year. We understand that the legislative process is complex and does not always unfold as initially envisioned. However, we remain committed to our long-term goals and recognize that this is a multi-year effort. The work of advancing reparations and achieving justice for Black Californians is far from complete, and we will not be distracted from our mission. We will stay focused on the work at hand, united in our purpose, and dedicated to the cause of reparations and equity for all. The CLBC will continue to lead with integrity and purpose, ensuring that our legislative efforts are impactful and meaningful for the communities we serve. All right, family. So I wanted to read that. And let me switch screens here. All right. So as you can see, that was according to CLBC. That was currently to a press release. I don't know, Reg, brother Reg, remain. Are you? I know you're out there on the ground, brother. Can you give us some heads up, brother? What's going on? Are there still a lot of people out there? Okay, so, I mean, at this point, family, well, it's a wrap now, but you know, we just have to continue in this fight because it's definitely not over. Okay, this is not over. It's a long haul. All right, and we in this for the long haul. Now I don't know exactly what the CLBC was referring to exactly. Now, this is me personally. I think this is a bunch of diabolical happenings right now. And to be frank, I mean, the majority of what they're calling the reparations package just isn't reparations. So they're lying. They're just outright lying at this point. And the only bills that was part of their package initially, now for those that actually have followed us through this journey, we actually went over I think at the time they had 13 bills. But the California American Freedom Affairs Agency was not part of their package at that time. So it came in later in the process, then they looped it in there. And then 1331, the fund was never part of their package, as it said on their press release. So, yeah, let me go through some. Okay, CLBC wants credit for the bill. Their name is not on it. I could possibly see that. It's all petty, ego-driven, self-service. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, family. This isn't about them. This is about what the people want and people require. As I probably said at the end in my last diatribe that I had as we closed out the last floor session as it adjourned yesterday. This is for the people and by the people. These people work for us. Don't ever forget that. We are their constituents, and we could vote them in, and we can absolutely vote them out. Once again, we can vote them in, and we can vote them out. They do not speak, as far as I'm concerned, for the Black American descendant people. I didn't see anything on that press release when they specifically talked about lineage on there. Okay. So yeah, so family, I mean, if that is the case, they're trying to get back at Bradford. I mean, may be the case, they may not, I don't know. Let me see what else here. Absolutely, Ernest. Absolutely, bro. Like, you know, and this is why it's important that everybody document everything. I'm just saying, document, because this is what Black American descendants, this is what we've talked about this whole entire time, that we've, you know, not only been through the legislative process, but as we've been here as a people, right? We get to this point and we are always harmed. You know, as we've seen, right, through this hearing, as we've seen through this hearing, I'm just reading some comments at the same time. As we've seen through this hearing, we saw a lot of legislation for a lot of other groups, right? I mean, 1804, I believe it's AB or SB, don't quote me. 1804 literally is having people who are legal coming to this country, so-called undocumented, potentially getting resources, aka home loans, right? Now, we don't know if the governor is going to sign off on that or not, but it did pass through the assembly. I think we actually saw it pass through. You can go rewind, see it back on here. So, you know, family, I don't know. I'm really disappointed. I want to give a special shout out to our California Progressive family. Whatever direction you take, I will support. Brother Ernest, shout out, man. We really appreciate you. In whatever state that you're in, yes, sir. A lot of butt bills went through. Yep. Whatever state that you are in, please take notes. Like, I know we have people listening to us throughout, you know, all the states. Please take note, right? Just my humble opinion, I believe every state needs to have at least a Freedmen Affairs agency of some sort, and name it Freedmen Affairs, not like, you know, whatever miscellaneous names out there. No, the Freedmen Bureau is documented. All we need to do is resurrect it. It's in law, right? So we need to be mindful of these things and take heed. We want others to start their own organizations, their own reparations organizations. And I'm very proud of our California, or Coalition for a Just and Equitable California family. All right, I'm very proud of them. I guess technically us too, because I am a co-founding member of CJEC. But I am so proud of the work that our good brothers and sisters are doing here. I can't thank them enough. And shout out to all our family who drove up from Southern California, who appeared in Sacramento and coming from the Bay Area. Because without these mighty advocate warriors, we wouldn't even be here today. I mean, family, we got so close. I mean, this is the first time. I mean, first of all, let's think about this, right? How many commissions have there been out there, even on a state level? Even on a state level, let alone federal. I mean, that HR 40 anyway, let alone on a state level, had a California Reparations Task Force put out a bomb 1,000-page final report that has never been done, and we got all the way to this point. And as Kamala Harris would say, "Hi, my name is VP Kamala Harris, and let me be clear, let me be clear. Let me be clear. Let me be clear." Well, VP Kamala Harris, I'm going to be clear that the CLBC, they just dropped the ball. Let's just call it what it is. They can point fingers at whoever they want. The governor, you know, I'm going to try to be politically correct. I was going to say midget, but let me not be mean. I'll just say little person. Whoever they want to point it out, you know, the little kid walking down the street, anyway. So yeah, family, so definitely take note, and whatever you do, please make sure that you read the California Reparations Task Force. Go over some of the sessions. You can actually go onto our page and study this stuff. We have to be very astute. We have to be politically educated to get into this process. This is our government, right? It's not some government out there or whatever. We built this country. We built this government, and we deserve an agency to be represented. Bottom line, we deserve it. It's owed to us. It was there before, right? The government messed it up, and then we need to get it back again. But for those people in California and in the nation, both black, white, yellow, green, orange, purple, pink, whatever, who did support, this journey, and who are our allies, we thank you. Because obviously, as we can see, this ain't about color. Because the CLBC obviously don't give a dang about what the people are saying. All right, family. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Let me just, before I do though, I'm just gonna reach out to just one more person just to confirm everything. If the bills actually, I don't know, they might resurrect, who knows, I doubt it. But just give me about a minute or two, family, before I close out. And I just want to thank you. But we're gonna be on it. We're not gonna give up. And the mass media group is going to be here to keep people informed and to keep us educated. All right. We thank you so much, CJEC. Y'all have given us the blueprint for grassroots reparations and advocacy. Absolutely. These turncoats need to be voted out. Well, absolutely. Let's not fall into the doom and despair. The California Warriors are lions in the reparation movement, the most advanced, the most organized. Appreciate that, brother Ernest. We appreciate it. All right, family. I'm gonna let this roll for about another minute or two, and I'll be right back and to close this out. So really appreciate you, family. All right, family, I am back. I did actually just get confirmation from a source, actually, and well, not unfortunately, our good brother, for those that don't know, Antonio Ray Harvey, we've had a chance to have him on here, and he's been a contributor here on the Mass Media Group. He actually is with the California Black Media, actually literally California Black Media. And he's there currently, and he actually is the one who did send out the release according to the CLBC. All right, well, we're not going to give in, we're not going to give up, we're going to keep educated, and we're going to keep in there. So please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notifications. Definitely stay strong. Vote out the distractors. Absolutely. I just made a sad to get this news. I'm sorry, Robert. Robert, if you're there and you see any of the family, man, yep. Obviously, go up to some of the family, man, and talk to them and see what's up. You know what I mean? So yeah, brother. Vote out the distractors. Stay strong, family. Good. We're already looking at candidates to run against these people. Absolutely. You know, it's just an excuse at this point. There's nothing that the CLBC can. There's absolutely nothing that the CLBC can say. There's nothing. Because let's think about it, right? First of all, you had 2.5 years of the California Reparations Task Force, right? Then they had time to read the report even before it got, right? And then even if Senator Bradford put that legislation through, right? They had time to read it. Now, look, this isn't about ego, as somebody mentioned, and then this is about legislation and what's going to go for the people. So, hey, if their ego wants to be in the way, I mean, so be it. That's up to them. And it is what it is. But definitely disappointed in CLBC. And we're going to keep it pushing, family, okay? So it is 4:20, I believe, Pacific Standard. I don't know where everybody else is at. But if you guys can definitely like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be on the lookout, family, because we're going to keep this thing moving. I know definitely I want to reread their public release that they had, the press release, I should say, and then compare it to you know, what they're talking about through the legislation. I know we've read 1331 a couple of times, but I think we should read it again. So anyway, family, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this thing down. I know I'm disappointed, but, and this is traumatic once again, you know, Black American descendants being traumatized as usual. But whatever you do, just remember your ancestors. Our ancestors are with us, and they're still here to guide us, right? So shout out to Callie House and Isaiah Dickerson in the building with us spiritually, helping us lead the way in this fight, in this destiny, in this justice claim for the people that built this country, because we are owed. Absolutely. And I highly suggest, shout out to Reps. Hey, Reps, what up, Reps? Reps been, she D1 in the building from day one. Reps been there, man. So shout out. And everybody who's in the chat who will be listening to this, our allies and even our haters, hey, we love you too, because that's what we do. Love to the family. God is with us and we will prevail. No turning back now, family. Absolutely. Absolutely, family. Look, I'm not going to tell you how to vote or who to vote for, but just take notes. That's all I'm saying. Just take notes, and then you decide based on policy, right, for you and your community, if these individuals deserve your vote, right? This is all across the board. But I want to get back to what I was saying about state advocacy groups. The more state advocacy groups that we have out there in your state, you take note and you keep doing it. This isn't just about, like, I know California is one of the largest populations in the state, but y'all can do it too. There's no reason you can't do it. As a matter of fact, I believe some of the legislators, I mean, obviously it's by state, but like right now, y'all need to get a hold of your legislators in your state and say, hey, we need some reparations. Look at AB 3021. Look it up. Carve it out. Rewrite it. Send it to your legislator. It don't matter if they're Republican. It don't matter if they're Democrat. It don't matter if they're black. It don't matter if they're white. It don't matter if they're whatever color. We need to get off this stuff. We need about policy that's going to benefit the Black American descendant community. So yes, family. Senate Bill 1050 is the anchor bill that passed. Now let's focus on the governor signing it. Well, you know, Jerry, that's very interesting, sir. Because we're going to have to reread that bill. Because there is, as a matter of fact, sir, you know what? We're going to do that right now. Let me pull it up because I know there's some language in there that's dealing with the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. So I don't know if that's going to be that little trick bag, like to say, okay, we're going to get this one through, but not the others. I mean, my thing is this, if that's the case, right? And then eventually it will get to Newsom's desk and he's like, well, I'm not going to sign it because these bills didn't go through, right? That might be possible, but hey, Jared, we don't know. 1050 might get through, and that's, I guess, good for those who, right, have claim for the eminent domain. But I'm gonna pull it up right now, family. Just give me a second. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go share my screen. For those who haven't followed us, we're gonna do a little lesson in how to look up bills on the California legislative site. Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I'm not sure if you guys have whatever state you guys are in. But I just put this in the chat. So let's go to our site real quick. Okay, so if you go on to I put it in the chat. If you go on to the link right now, you can follow through or not follow through or just watch the screen. The screen might be a little small, so please forgive me. But in here, we're going to type in SB 1050. And I'm going to hit go. Alrighty. So as you can see, this was introduced by Senator Bradford. Sure, some that you know. Okay. So we're going to read this line here. All right. So it says, this bill would require the Office of Legal Affairs, which would be established within the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, as provided by SB 1403 of 2023-2024 regular session, to, upon appropriation by the legislature, review, investigate, and make certain determinations regarding applications from persons who claim they are dispossessed owner as defined of property taken as a result of racially motivated eminent domain. All right. So, yeah, family. 1050 is great for identification, not necessarily the collective. Someone asked, how will they go about reviewing applicants without the office? Dun, 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 dun. You know what, Ernest? Brother? Here. Exactly. How is it going to happen if you don't have an office? I don't know. They might make something up between now and then. I mean, who knows? There might be a miracle that might happen. We don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. So anyway, that's, you know, as I said before, for those that don't, this is what we do all day, right? We read legislation. We see the inequities that are amongst us, and we try to fill that gap, right? to make sure that we're all on the same page so we know what we're talking about. All right. So anyway, family, now I know we usually don't do spaces, just because I just don't have a lot of time to do spaces. But hey, I don't know. We might start doing spaces or not. We'll see. Because I have to talk to my partner, my production partner, Miss Kim, to see if that's something that we can start putting in our wheelhouse. But for now, you can check us out here on YouTube, family. So once again, I definitely, let me see. The governor has to prove it or not. The bill's on his desk. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's on his desk. Very good point. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? I mean, at least if for some miracle this does get through, at least certain individuals, not the full community, which isn't, in my humble opinion, the point of this process. But I guess it's a start. While there are brothers and sisters literally right now possibly that could get evicted and living out on the street. So anyway, family, once again, thank you very much for your participation. Hopefully we've provided and will be able to provide some source of, I guess, relief in some sort of way in this toxic environment called the United States that we live in. But let's keep educated, let's keep strong, and let's keep going, family. This is not over. This is absolutely not over. What was that? Teddy Riley? I know I'm probably aging myself now. When Teddy Riley said, "Groove me, baby, this ain't over. The party ain't over." This ain't over. That's funny. Hey, brother. It's all good, family. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. All right, family. So let's do this. I know we usually go on Sundays. We have our Road to Reparation show, but we need to, kind of think about that and recoup and reconvene as we move forward, what the next steps are. So be brave, be strong, be courageous, because our ancestors were. So on that note, family, love, peace, and light. Peace and reparations. Leading with lineage.
California Reparations Task Force hearings.
Final report recommendations.
California Freedmen Affairs Agency, CAFA office.
The Fund for Reparations and Reparative Justice.
Free the land, eminent domain, unjust property taking return.
And then the mass media group was there. Reparations Now, the documentary where it all began.
Released Juneteenth, 2023.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR room, don't tune in.
Available to watch on Tubi TV and other streaming outlets. As always, thank you for the support. Please like, share, and subscribe to your #1 source for reparations and news. Until next time, peace and reparations. Leading with lineage.
California Reparations Task Force hearings.
Final.
On this month, we have the rise of the Phoenix. George Jackson. From the day that we landed from Arthur Ave flash when the Wimbledon game hurt the Henry intellect. J Ball born with the final next time. 1964 Jersey race, struggle is sublime. Speech of Frederick Douglass, no struggle is no progress. Florida gets rid of slavery, it was grotesque. Emancipation Day for the Black Creek Nation. Louis Armstrong born the great trumpet sensation. Andrew Johnson denied the freedmen. Confiscation Act tried to patch the bleeding. Cali House and the ex-slave pension. North Pole Trailblazer Matthew Hickson. Whitney Houston turned the Star-Spangled out. Isaac Hayes with the stars, no doubt. Watts rebelled, Black Chicago caught hell with the infamous riot tales. As we say, we go black, 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 black. Here we go, black, 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 black. Come on, say black, 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 black. Here we go, y'all, black, black, black. 1 2 1 2. Surgeon General Minnie Lee Jones, Ernest just fertility, chromosome Julian Bond, activist politician. Dorothy West were words with precision. Marcus Garvey, Unity United. Rayford Johnson, all around athlete. Lunch counter sit-ins, Oklahoma City. Jamestown, home of the first slaves pixie. Melvin Van Peebles, sweet, sweet bag. Huey P. Newton, keeping it black. Houston Revolution, Bayard Rustin, Althea Gibson, Mr. Johnson got NASA buzzing. MLK, the great last speech. Marshall Washington with the protest speech. Wendell Scott, Colonel Blueford, Kenny Washington, NFL word. When we talking about to turn it out. When we talking about 1 2 1 2, talk about black, 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 black. Here we go, y'all. Black, 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 black. Here we go. Black, 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 black. Here we go, y'all. Black, 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 black. This is for the people. This is for the ones who's trying to stop the evil. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
The way it currently stands, forced labor, slavery takes precedence over rehabilitation and public safety.
Oh, by the way, while the Biden administration gives reparations to everyone but free people, look at the billions he has run over to Ukraine.
We don't have black grocery stores because if you think about it now, just to get in that supply chain, it's almost unheard of.
They don't want the truth to get out. Okay? I don't want to know what my family did or what all these people did and all this stuff like that. Okay? You read that 500-page report.
There's this thing called white superiority and black inferiority. That mindset allows all of the behaviors that we've seen across generations, allows for the construction of these policies and practices and systems and structures that continue to oppress us. This is not a handout. This is a debt that is owed.
You know, Allensworth was like the internet of his time in 1904, 1905.
The total black population in California is about 2.6 million, and then of that, the descendants compose about 2.2 million of that. So California, with a multi-billion-dollar surplus, can absolutely afford to satisfy the international terms for reparations, beginning with compensation.
Any financial obstacle that exists that impedes the success of increasing financial prosperity needs to be dealt with and eliminated.
No matter where we've been, no matter what part of this fight we've been in, we've been harmed, and we've had harm done to us specifically.
When I got to Los Angeles, this was some of the worst segregation I'd ever seen. And remember, I'm telling you, I'm from Mississippi.
Because as you can see, I'm giving you broken history right now, you know? But I had to give it to you guys today. I said, no, I got to show them this because it's so precious and nobody really knows about it.
Black people don't have that kind of luxury.
Our historically black communities have been redistricted multiple times.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR roof, don't tune in.
The way it currently stands, forced labor, slavery takes precedence over rehabilitation and public safety.
Oh, by the way, while the Biden administration gives reparations to everyone but free people, look at the billions he has run over to Ukraine.
We don't have black grocery stores because if you think about it now, just to get in that supply chain, it's almost unheard of.
They don't want the truth to get out. Okay? I don't want to know what my family did or what all these people did and all this stuff like that. Okay? You read that 500-page report.
There's this thing called white superiority and black inferiority. That mindset allows all of the behaviors that we've seen across generations, allows for the construction of these policies and practices and systems and structures that continue to oppress us. This is not a handout. This is a debt that is owed.
You know, Allensworth was like the internet of his time in 1904, 1905.
The total black population in California is about 2.6 million, and then of that, the descendants compose about 2.2 million of that. So California, with a multi-billion-dollar surplus, can absolutely afford to satisfy the international terms for reparations, beginning with compensation.
Any financial obstacle that exists that impedes the success of increasing financial prosperity needs to be dealt with and eliminated.
No matter where we've been, no matter what part of this fight we've been in, we've been harmed, and we've had harm done to us specifically.
When I got to Los Angeles, this was some of the worst segregation I'd ever seen. And remember, I'm telling you, I'm from Mississippi.
Because as you can see, I'm giving you broken history right now, you know? But I had to give it to you guys today. I said, no, I got to show them this because it's so precious and nobody really knows about it.
Black people don't have that kind of luxury. Our historically black communities have been redistricted multiple times.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR roof, don't tune in.
The way it currently stands, forced labor, slavery